if I'm a deep winter or true winter? How do I know if I'm a warm autumn or warm spring, light spring or light summer? You gave me a true summer result, but my natural hair color is brown. You gave me a true spring result and I have dark hair color. What's up? My last video going through muted autumn and muted summer and the easy way to rule that out if you have a lighter hair color raised a lot of comments that showed me that perhaps there's still some thoughts out there not actually knowing what color analysis is. Color analysis is about harmonizing the colors you wear for your hair, makeup, clothing, and accessories with your natural coloring. And your natural hair color is a great way to easily, in my mind, rule in or rule out palettes to focus on, but it will never narrow the field down of color analysis palettes to one. What I'm saying is there's no way you can avoid doing a color analysis process to actually get at your color analysis palette. And what is a color analysis process? It is ultimately looking at your natural coloring and then doing color comparisons on you. And the system I use uses a 3-step process, and we compare very specific colors at each step in the process, and it's multiple colors compared. It's like, it's like 50 or more colors compared. And the effects of the reflection of those colors on your skin is studied, and color analysis checks are done. There's been advancements in the field where now we can do that virtually. In the past, before these advancements, it can only be done in person. But ultimately, there's no way of avoiding doing color analysis checks. I get people want an easy way. My eye color's this, and eye color is irrelevant in color analysis. My hair color around the age of 20 naturally was this, and here's the qualities of my skin. But there's no skipping the step of doing color comparisons. I will also just put out there, if you have medium brown hair naturally, it is really, really difficult to rule in or rule out palettes because you have potential to be in most to all color analysis palettes in the system I use. And if your hair is darker, perhaps there's a little less on the plate for you to focus on. But if your hair is darker, you can be a true spring, true summer, and what have you. The true spring and true summer natural hair color ranges seen are dark right through to light. Video I produced last really was around the muted summer, muted autumn palettes. And so you'll see if you have the reference for this palette from me, it says to avoid blonde for hair colors because blonde is out of harmony with this palette and will fail color analysis checks. I get that people want the easy way to get at a color analysis palette, but there's no avoiding in my mind doing some sort of color comparison process and with very specific colors and doing the color analysis checks. That is required to narrow the field down to one palette that ultimately adds to your sparkle. If you want to pull out a picture of yourself around the age of 20 with your natural hair color and know what palettes to easily rule out in the color analysis system I use, you can go on my hair playlists on YouTube, and these hair videos are also on this platform, so those may be of interest to you. But what I will say is natural hair colors and hair salon hair colors are two different things. So if you're looking at the materials I have out there on hair colors, it usually shows hair swatches. Don't look at the tone of the hair color, because somebody, for instance, can receive a spring result and not have obvious warmth to their hair. So in general, somebody can receive a warm palette result and not have obvious warmth to their hair. And sometimes in various lighting, people in the cooler palettes can also show warmth to their hair because the underlying qualities of natural hair colors tend to show some warmth. Looking at my hair videos only focus on the value, which is the lightness, darkness, to help rule in and rule out palettes for you. And so if you have a strip like this of mine, for instance, there's a hair section as well. You could also use this in lieu of looking at the hair videos, but just be aware, this is about colored hair to me again. Only focus on the value of the hair color. The first video and the second video, I think, in my hair playlist on YouTube goes a bit more in detail on that. If you don't know your natural hair color from around the age of 20 because you've been coloring for quite some time, I would refer to your last picture that you have with your natural hair color. And if you don't have that, then just go by your memory and focus on the value of that. So like if you had like brown hair around the age of 10, as an example, naturally, I'm going to bet that brown natural hair color also was your brown range natural hair color as time went on as well. All this video is to say is color analysis is not that easy. There's no way to avoid doing color comparisons with very specific colors at each phase in the process to ultimately arrive at your color analysis result. Looking at your surface coloring really isn't doing a color analysis. Color analysis professionals attend training programs, usually in-person training programs for days, and sometimes those programs are repeated for continuing education. And then they launch a practice usually where their first set of clients are learning experiences, and then as they gain experience, they get better and better. So it sometimes takes years for professionals to develop their eye in this. So hopefully this video helps clarify that ruling in and ruling out hair colors that I talked about in my last video and likely other videos is really just to narrow the field down of possibilities, but will never get you down to one color analysis palette. The way to get you down to one color analysis palette that adds to your sparkle is to do color comparisons. Yay to doing color comparisons.